and as I serve, I sing. Hello, Chuckabutties. Welcome. Picture my hand here. I've got a serving tray in it, and I'm about to serve some customers at a theatre cafe dining experience in the West End. I'm a singing entertainer waiter, and as I serve, I sing. And after I've done so, the customers might say, we like the way, no, they won't say they like the way I sing, but you get the idea. They'd give a gratuity, a tip, so important, because it's needed to supplement our incomes, because it's not as though the incomes are going to pay for everything. We need those tips. We need those gratuities. A couple of days ago, you brought to our attention the fact that the Stage newspaper had headlined an article about theatre, diner, cafe singing waiters not receiving their gratuities, running into thousands of pounds. And for them to highlight their situation, they got together and penned a letter to the Stage, some of them putting their name to that letter into the public domain. And those of our viewers who are members of Equity, the trade union for professional actors, variety entertainers and other creatives across the United Kingdom, are saying, Nigel, this must be a terrible state, because we all know, and their letter highlights this, they are self-employed performers. And the self-employed need particular protections, because once your name gets out as being an activist or a troublemaker or saying this or that about a venue, because you're self-employed, it's easy to say, we're not going to employ them again. So you really have to be in a terrible situation to put your name to a letter. But would this have happened some years ago? You see, when Variety, the Variety Artists Federation, joined Equity, it was aware of the fact that the members were self-employed. That's why a separate department was set up within Equity that in many ways was autonomous to itself. It took its own decisions through an assistant general secretary. Why? Because the whole structure, the variety branches, were a recognition of the fact that those attending were self-employed. And just like the Trades Union Congress, most of the decisions and information were not given within the formality of the meeting, because you weren't quite sure whether you should say that, because there might be somebody there who might use the information not in a way that enhances your experience. So in the bar afterwards, you'll be talking to those you know, the branch secretary, and the branch secretary used to go around everywhere, and the committee going to all the clubs, and some of the clubs, I think if some of the Equity staff went along to them today, they'd go, oh, no, we don't go in there. It's not a respectful place, but we work there. We can't be selective. Some who've got plenty of money, celebrities could, but at the grassroots, some of the venues, the way you are treated, we still get changed, don't you, Hilary? Yes, in toilets, and have to rush on stage and hump the gear yourself. That's the life. And some of the club owners and some of the agents, fortunately though, the branch secretary, and it used to be the member of staff as well, the variety organisers, used to go round to the clubs, and they knew who were the genuine, brilliant agents and who were the clubs who were also putting the interests of the entertainers, the self-employed, first and foremost. So he had a pecking order. Good clubs, bad clubs, good agents, we should really avoid them. And the warning flags were set up in the social afterwards, because you couldn't really say too much in the meetings, because one was never quite sure, though, before anyone says it. Social media networks are no substitute for live, in-your-face, getting together variety branches. But it's also true to say that the structure now within Equity doesn't really recognise what self-employed entertainers are all about. And in fact, well, they've been shaded by equity now. What do they do other than get their accident and legal protection, public liability? The health, welfare and development of their career as a self-employed person, well, it really has been shaded. So for these diner, cafe singing waiters, my fair-minded and equitable friends feel for them. We hope that if any of you are members of Equity, you will reach out to Equity, because there are some members of staff who really do understand what's going on. And if you're not sure, well, drop me a line and we'll pass it on to Equity. And if you're not members of Equity, then even though there are problems now in Variety and with Variety branches, when push comes to shove, I would still say we need to collectively join together and be members of Equity. So with that in mind, I wish all the best to those cafe, diner, singing waiters, and I hope that you get your gratuities. It's so important. As we started off by saying, has the stage newspaper scooped Equity? Or will some of you get in touch with Equity and see if Equity on your behalf can chase this up and put some pressure, the collective pressure of 50,000 members, to help you? I really do hope so. And I hope you get the gratuities that so clearly you deserve.